Good afternoon, and welcome to another Jazz Vesper service. We have a wonderful, wonderful singer today. And her husband, Bob, he works with the big band that was here a few months ago, and I told him, I says, we have to bring you and your wife, Calabria, here. And so they were kind enough to come. Tonight we also have another wonderful, wonderful, wonderful singer, Sue Rainey, who's in the house somewhere, and we just, if you just love her, she's really great. And so to start the program this evening, we're going to have my wife, Yvette, come up and read the scripture.
First of all you brave souls, I didn't expect everybody here tonight. I thought you'd be quarantined in your homes. Let's do a good prayer for this country, okay? Yeah. In fact, it goes right into what I'm talking about today. I'm going to do Romans 11, 17 to 24. If some of the branches have been broken off, and you, though a wild olive shoot, have been grafted in among the nourishing sap from the olive root, do not boast over those branches. If you do, consider this: you do not support the root, but the root supports you. You will say then, branches were broken off so that I could be grafted in. Granted, but they were broken off because unbelief, and you stand by faith. Do not be arrogant, but be afraid. For God did not spare the natural branches. He will not spare you either. Consider the kindness and sternness of God. Sternness to those who fail, but kindness to you, provided that you continue in his kindness. Otherwise, you also will be cut off. And if they do not persist unbelief, they will be grafted in. For God is able to graft them in again. After all, if you were cut out of an olive tree that is wild by nature, and contrary to nature were grafted into a cultivated olive tree, how much more readily will these, the natural branches, be grafted into their own olive tree? Amen. May God add a blessing to these words. And Barbara Nathanson will speak next.
See, we made her stumble over the Barbara. We've got lots of Barbaras here. Hi, Barbara, up there. It's my great pleasure to see all of you come out. I was a little bit nervous. I thought, I hope everybody set their clocks ahead. I hope people are feeling social no matter what. And we also have a marvelous artist for you to see today. It's my great pleasure to introduce her. I know her from another artist from Gallery 825, and she was one of the group that went to Tokyo with all of us in this big show in December. And when I saw her work there, I said, I have just a great place for you to bring those little beautiful art pieces to share again. And here she is, and I'm going to let you let her tell you a little bit about herself. And also, if you can see on the back of your program, it has her bio. One other little plug I want to put in. These green cards are right by the basket out there. If you want me to send you an email each month to tell you about the next program coming up for our Jazz Vespers, fill one out, leave it in the basket. I'll see that you get emails. Thank you. Susan Carr-Moody.
Thank you. First of all, it's an honor to be here with you guys. Thank you so much, Barbara, for inviting me. I don't want to talk too much because I'm not a good speaker like those beautiful ladies. But I just want to say my works usually is about social issues. And this group of works I brought it today is mostly about emotional pain and so many people going through with anxiety and depression. And I had to deal with one of my friends. She committed suicide, and a family member's friend, she committed suicide. And I just want to show, I use the nature as a metaphor, as human, an individual, and all the whirlpool you see is emotional, all the inner emotional we are dealing with. And I believe all of us somehow dealing with that issue, but some more than others. I think that's it. And if you guys have any questions, you can see me after this. Thank you so much.
Bob? Bob? Okay, while the band is getting set, I have to remind you that this Jazz Vesper service is supported by a free will offering. So don't be hesitant about filling the basket up. It's a wonderful basket, and the more money that's in there, the happier we all will be. And Calabria Foti.
Hartley and Yvette, thank you all for having us. And thanks so much for coming out tonight. It's good to be in the house of the Lord. And it's good to be here on the sun coming through the window. I'm Calabria Foti. And pretty soon I'm going to introduce my husband, Bob McChesney. And since I am here talking, since we haven't started yet, I'd like to introduce our band, the wonderful Atmaro Ruiz on the piano, Grammy winner, composer, magician. Maybe he'll do a trick for us before the night's over. On bass, this young fella is a recent graduate from LACHSA, the Los Angeles High School of Performing Arts. Mr. Mike Garola, this terrific young player. And on drums, our dear friend Dick Weller. He's a composer, author, and a great drummer. So I'd like to start with a little Duke Ellington to get us started. We're going to have Mike start us. I never cared much for moonlit skies. I never winked back at fireflies. But now that the stars are in your eyes, I'm beginning to see the light. I never went in for afterglow, candlelight on the mistletoe. But now that they turn the lamp down low, I'm beginning to see the light. I used to ramble through the park, shadow boxing in the dark. You came along and caused a spark. That's a four-alarm fire now. Now I never made love by lantern shine. I never saw rainbows in my wine. But now that your lips are burning mine, I'm beginning to see the light. Oh, I used to ramble through the park, shadow boxing in the dark. You came along and caused a spark for alarm fire now. Now I never made love by lantern shine. I never saw rainbows in my wine. Now that your lips are burning mine, I'm beginning to see the light. I'm beginning to see the light. I'm just beginning to see the light. Big Willow on the drums. Mike Corolla, Admira Ruiz. Thank you very much. It's so great to be here. There's so much talent in this room, and lots of friends and neighbors and colleagues. And my new optometrist is here, Dr. Mack. From he was a trombone player, so I said, you gotta come to the show. You can't see him. Recently, we did a new record called Prelude to a Kiss, which is, oh, thank you, Tony Russell, which was all about home and family, celebrating home and family. And all the song, I'm sort of emotional because it was so personal. We recorded it at Capitol Records with a full orchestra, and I stood in Frank Sinatra's booth and sang on his microphone, and it was really, really quite exciting. And all the songs were very personal. So we're going to do one of the songs from this album that I used to sing for many years for my daughter. It's called Waltz for Debbie, about a little girl, free spirit. It's a mom singing a song about her daughter, who's kind of a free spirit, wondering what it's going to be like when she grows up. In her own sweet world, populated by dolls and clowns, and a prince and a big purple bear, lives my favorite girl, unaware of the worried frowns that we weary grown-ups all wear. In the sun, she dances to silent music, songs that are spun of gold somewhere in her wee little head. One day, all too soon, she'll grow up and she'll leave her dolls and the prince and a silly old bear. When she goes, they will cry as they whisper goodbye. They will miss her, I fear, but then so will I. populated by dolls and clowns and a prince and a big purple bear. Lives my favorite girl, unaware of the worried frowns that we weary grown-ups all wear. In the sun, she dances to silent music, songs that are spun of gold somewhere in her wee little head. One day, all too soon, she'll grow up and she'll leave her dolls and the prince and a silly old bear. When she goes, they will cry as they whisper goodbye. They will miss her, I fear, but then so will I. Thank you very much. Many, many years ago, I'm not going to tell you how many, I was a young violinist practicing in little practice rooms. And I heard this beautiful trombone playing coming from down the hall. And I said, I've got to find out who that is. And I peeked in the little window and I saw the curly hair and the trombone. And I heard this beautiful music. I said, I got to know who that is. Anyway, long story short, come June, it's our 35th anniversary. My husband, see, I didn't know. He was just a trombone player at the time, but then he's become an arranger and record producer, and there he is. And I still like him. Mr. Bob McChesney. Oh, you're waiting for me? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm futzing with my lyrics and stuff. Anyway, we're going to do a sweet tune that was written by a little girl named Marilyn Keith and Lou Spence and a guy that she had just met on this writing project named Alan Bergman. And many years later, they become the Bergmans, and we're going to do a hit they wrote. Let's take it nice and easy. It's gonna be so easy for us to fall in love. Hey baby, what's your hurry? You relax and don't you worry. We're gonna fall in love. We're on the road to
Thank you, everybody, for coming out. This next tune I'm going to do, it was written by, it's one of my favorite tunes. It was written by Nat Adderley, the brother of the famous Cannonball Adderley. It's called Naturally. He was kind of a, he had to live in the shadow of his brother, but he was quite a great trumpet player, and he wrote these beautiful tunes. So this is also, the reason I like this tune is Freddie Hubbard, one of my big inspirations, used to play this all the time. And we just did a little twist on it and put a waltz in the middle of it. It's called Naturally. You might recognize it.
Thank you.
Tamara Ruiz. Michael Rolla. Thank you so much. Everybody know the name of that one? That was written by Branislav Kaper. Invitation. It's an old, from the old movie, the old black and white movie. Invitation.
Yeah, Hi. Is everybody having a good time? Well, we are too. We're so glad you came out tonight. This is fun on our shortened day. Doesn't it feel later? Instead of feeling earlier, doesn't it feel later? Anyway, I guess it's the loss of the hour. I don't know. I just wanted to thank you all for being here tonight. And I want to thank Adrian for the nice sound, good sound. And Yvette and Lanny Hartley for having us in this beautiful church. And if you're interested, we have CDs available, 4 CDs that Mr. Bob produced for me. All of the themes of relationships and the arc of a romantic
Calabria always
evening.
has a theme to her records, which drives me nuts because everything has to fit in. But the last one was The Feeling of Being Home.
Right.
The one before that was Romantic Evening, right?
Lovely way to spend an evening.
The arc of an evening,
Yeah.
like how it starts out, and then
When a woman loves a man is the arc of a relationship. Being alone.
so everything we have to fit everything into these themes all the time, but they come out great.
And then Cole Porter. Then there's one with just all Cole Porter with a chamber band. Yeah, and he's got some beautiful CDs too. Anyway, if you're interested, we have them, and we're happy to sign them. We're going to take you home with a song from Prelude to a Kiss, and I need it E flat. No. Richard Weller. He's going to take us home. I have often walked down the street before, but the pavement always stayed beneath my feet before. All at once am I several stories high, knowing I'm on the street where you live. Are there lilac trees in the heart of town? Can you hear a lark in any other part of town? Does enchantment pour out of every door? No, it's just on the street where you live. And oh, the towering feeling, just to know somehow you are near. And the overpowering feeling that any second you might suddenly appear. People stop and stare, they don't bother me, but there's nowhere else on earth that I would rather be. Let the time go by. I don't care if I can't be here on the street where you live. street where you live. Get me here on the street where you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Dick Weller on the drums, Mike Carroll on the bass, Otmar Ruiz on piano, Bobby Chesney, I'm Flavia Foti. Thank you so much. God bless. Have a great week. I got one more for you. Thank you all so very much.
Thanks for coming. I really appreciate it.
Oh, y'all were wonderful. I could feel your music inside me, in my bones. Okay? Thank you so very, very much. You know, we need that. Art. This is art. And thank you for sharing it with us. Thank you. And now I'm going to try to get into the feeling of what just left by doing my TED Talk. Somebody got it, okay. But I'm not going to talk, like a regular talk, because this music just made me feel so good, you know. I got to get into it. Okay, I want to talk about support. Now, Joan, who runs this church, she's right back there, right there. I told her I was going to talk about support, and her eyebrow went up. She said, support? So I looked it up in the dictionary. And the dictionary, quote, it says, bear all or part of the weight of hold up, give assistance to, especially financially. Oh, I know a lot about that. Enable to function or act. Suggest the truth or corroborate. Endure. Tolerate. A thing that bears the weight of something or keeps it upright. Material assistance. Yeah, just pick one of those, because I know we have all done all of those at one point in our lives. What a person needs for themselves to make it through the day, month, or year is some kind of support. Do you need someone to hold you up and make you feel strong? Because you might be feeling a little weak right now. I am not talking about encouragement. See, encouragement is just a word. Support has roots to it. It's dug deep down in. Sometimes we really need that, to boost and jolt us into energy from one thing or another, makes you strong, like hearing, wow, you look great. But you see, you can say that with encouragement. Wow, you look great. But when you really mean it, wow, you look great. That's support. That comes from the heart. That comes from the ground up. And you can feel it, just like you felt this music. Or I believe in you. Encouragement. But when somebody believes in you and tells you to your face and has tears in their eyes, that's support. Someone to remind you that you didn't make a mistake in the direction you took with your life. Don't we all question? Because we're all about the same age or close to the same age. Did I make the right direction? Guess what? You did. There's no wrong way to live. Or do you know someone who could use your shoulder to stand on just for a moment? Now that's support. Know this, it is all of our jobs to be there for someone, something, a cause, a purpose, and a need from an ailing friend. And there's so many people ailing. That's support. Doesn't the word alone sound strong? Support. support is the key part of support. And what is that? To carry, to hold, to shoulder, to care, to listen for someone or something, or for being there for yourself too. See, sometimes we forget about ourselves. Yes, we need support ourselves. I'm not just talking about growing up and taking care of our financial responsibilities. I am talking about being there for yourself, believing in yourself. If you don't support or push or carry your dreams, who will? They just lie flat like fallen leaves on the ground, and they get blown hither and thither and beyond. If you don't gather them up and get under them and support them by believing in yourself and working hard for your dreams. Support. Nothing comes for free. Nothing. Any good thing is only good if you have to work for it. Is that not true? Raised it or grown it or labored over it or cried over it, supported it. This is a poem that is for a child, but I want you to just make yourself that child. And it's written by Annie, Salt of the Earth Weighted Gear. That's what it's called. Basically, it's from the internet, and they don't know who it's from. It's anonymous. Lay down and sleep, dear child. Innocent who come into my life and turn it upside down. Your life is not easy, nor will it be, nor mine. Yet neath your blanket deep in dreams, do you somehow know the unexpected honor that you bring for greater challenge and blessings? Never was combined in the special soul you are, whose needs I strive to meet. And God, who entrusted you to me, whispers in my ear, thank you. For blessed are they who find the strength to set aside their life and serve and support. Now, right now, this world needs us. It needs all of us. There is no sitting back and letting others do it, carry the load. We have to get in there, into the muck and mire, and support whatever we believe in. And if you don't know what you should do, pray or meditate. And the way will open for you to give you your support. Thank you. I want to tell y'all something. I feel so blessed. Lanny, you want to come up and say something, baby? You said it all. I did it. I did. I want to tell you something. Now, we do have that offering basket in the back there. And please help us, because all of this is by you. None of this is by anybody else but you, well, God. And so you give. And next Vespers, Lanny Hartley will be playing. It's April the 12th, which might be Easter, so we're going to have to talk about that, okay? Because I don't know if I'm going to bring a ham to this table or anything like that. Calabria, girlfriend, you are smooth down. Ooh, and Mr. McChesney, I hear you on Sears all the time. I know who you are. You are smooth too, so y'all belong together. You knew that, didn't you? 34 years? Congratulations. 35. See, they know. Okay. We're only 24. Anyway. And Dick, Mike, and Dick, I just loved all of you. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to read this because I mess up every time. Dusty Styles up there on video. Adrian on sound. Teresa Prim, where are you, Teresa, with all that blonde, that white hair? There you go. She takes all the pictures. Barbara and Wes Nathanson, they do the flyer, and Larry Flaherty. Barbara Stiles does everything, and she keeps her husband here. And Dr. Choi and Lanny Hartley, just thank you very much for having this. So we do one more thing. You want to say something else? Am I missing anything, Barbara? Where are you? Am I missing something? The artist, oh my God. Look at the artwork. Take your time and talk to the artist. Her name is Susan. It is fantastic. And just take her, if you can't buy it right now, take a card. And there's also records to be sold, CDs, excuse me. Okay, I just dated myself. Okay, yeah, I'm old. Okay, proud of it, that's right. So there's the CDs. Y'all were fabulous. I thank you so much. So we all stand and say our goodbyes to each other. On page 2, there is a benediction prayer, which you all probably did in camp. May the Lord watch between you and me while we're absent one from another. God bless all of you. Thank you for coming out. Thank you. Thank you.